how the body can handle the blood sugar. So what are the ways that the body can handle the sugary load that you have just had by your meal? Okay, so let's look at this graph on the screen. So you see a red line and a blue line. So the red line is indicating the blood sugar that you have. So let's say that you had a sugary meal and it's getting digested and absorbed to the body, and it's raising your blood sugar gradually. Okay, so as your blood sugar goes high, the body senses that high blood sugar and starts to produce and excrete insulin to the bloodstream, and in an effort to bring down the uh, blood sugar. Okay, so what is insulin? Insulin is a hormone that is getting produced by your pancreas, the beta cells in the pancreas, and it gets excreted into the bloodstream in response to high blood sugar, in response to um, the sugar level in the blood. Okay, and also other factors can produce can ask the pancreas to excrete more insulin to the bloodstream as well. Okay, so what does it do? The insulin goes around the body and asks other cells in the body to absorb more sugar. Okay, because sugar is damaging the body. It's so damaging that if the blood sugar goes higher than a certain level, it would damage the brain right away and you get unconscious. Okay, so you faint. So it's very corrosive, very damaging. So the body needs to regulate that blood level instantly and very quickly to avoid that damage. So by uh, by using insulin, it's asking the body is asking every cell in the body to absorb more blood sugar and just get that sugar out of the blood and store it somewhere and do something with it. Okay. So, for example, insulin goes to the first place that it goes to your liver. And it tells the liver to, it binds to the liver cells and it tells the liver to pull out the blood sugar and store them as glycogen. Glycogen is a complex molecule of sugar that is the storage form of blood sugar in the body. Okay, so that's a storage form. You store the blood glucose, the extra blood glucose that you have as glycogen in the liver. And later on, if you don't have enough blood sugar in the bloodstream, you can just ask the liver to just break down that glycogen and produce a bit of sugar and just give it to the bloodstream. That's the liver. Insulin goes to the muscles and tells the muscle cells to open up and absorb and suck in the blood sugar that they can. And muscle has its own glycogen reserve as well. Muscle can use up and produce energy out of blood sugar. Another place that insulin can go is to fat cells. And it tells the fat cell to absorb the sugar and do what? Produce fat. So the fat around the body that you see and the fat inside the body that you cannot see is in response to insulin telling the fat cell to absorb the sugar and produce energy and produce fat cells, like more fat molecules in the fat cell. So that's the way that insulin is trying to manage the blood sugar, okay, regulate the blood sugar. Let's go back to that graph. So the blood sugar is going high and the body excretes more insulin in response to that. And it reaches a point that it can manage the blood sugar. So the blood sugar is coming down. The body senses that, reduces the amount of insulin bloodstream, and they both go down. So as you see, like the red line comes down, and then the blue line comes down. That means blood sugar is coming down, insulin is coming down, and it reaches a level like at the lowest point that you see. It reaches a level that the brain doesn't have enough sugar available. Okay, so the whole point of having blood sugar in the body, other than as a fuel for the whole body, is to produce some parts of the brain that only can use blood sugar, and there are some other cells that can only use blood sugar as a fuel. But the most sensitive part that is commanding the rest of the body is brain. So when you don't have enough blood sugar, your brain senses that and you feel hungry, and the brain commands you to go and eat something, provide me with some energy. Okay, so at that lowest point that you see, you get that sense of hunger, and then you go for another sugary drink or sugary food, or a carbohydrate source, and then you start absorbing it again, and that cycle starts again. So we eat another sugary load, and the blood sugar goes high, and then the insulin goes high. So that's how insulin is managing the blood sugar. But insulin is not only managing the blood sugar. If that was the only thing that the insulin was doing, it would have some downsides to it, as we see in the in next few minutes. But it would be good because you have like some blood sugar, like high levels of blood sugar, and then you would have some insulin, and it's all good because it's getting managed. But insulin is doing many more things. Insulin is doing like more than 100 different usages and effects in the body is known to the medical community by now. I'm sure it's more than that, and they're going to discover more than that as well. So when the insulin level is high, higher than normal, like that level that you see in that graph, it's doing everything more. It's not just doing managing the blood sugar more. Okay? So all of that 100 different effects in the body, they're being done more and more aggressively. So if it's like changing some chemicals in the brain, insulin actually does that. It's affecting different chemicals and neurotransmitters in the brain. It is done more and more. If it's stimulating the body to store more things, to build up more things, because another usage of insulin is as a anabolic hormone. So it commands the body to build things like build fat tissues or build glycogen or build muscle, things like that. Okay, or it stops breaking down different things. As we have defined before in the previous video, metabolism is two different processes, two different major processes, breaking down things and building up things. So it stops breaking down things. So everything that insulin is doing is being done more and more aggressively. Okay, so, and that's damaging to the body. Our body is good with insulin. Insulin is a natural thing, is a natural hormone, and we require that to live, but at a normal level, not at a high level. Okay. And this is a very important point. And we'll see why is that important, because that's one of the interventions that that your doctor, your physician would tell you to do in like later stages of diabetes. Okay. I hope that you understand that what's the blood sugar and insulin relation in the body, and what are the damages of insulin.